All right, everyone. So let's get into how to build a story map. So once we're here at the sign-on screen where we go to pvamu.maps.arcgis.com at our organizational account, we're going to go ahead and sign in. Now my credentials are already signed in, but you would just sign in like you do to every other system within the Prairie View system, using your same credentials that you use, across the board. So I already went through all of these content tabs. So we're going to go back over here to this waffle tab and we're going to look for story maps. We're going to click on story maps. And this is where your home screen is for story maps. So here is where all the stories that you have already completed will be here. If you've labeled anything as your favorite by clicking this star on it, it'll be up here. Any groups that you have that you're sharing with and your organization and the story maps that they have will be here as well, okay? So there's a online how to access right there for your Prairie View account using your PVAMU credentials, okay? If we go back here, we'll have where we have our collections. I've created a collection of El Paso County story maps. So if I click on this, I'll have all my story maps here, and I actually have a tab later in the actual presentation. And you guys can click on these and you can come in here and look at different examples, but I'll review that right now. I just want to call your attention also as well here, if you create themes, which I think is a very good idea, which I haven't done over here on this organizational account. I actually had a Texas A&M account and a lot of my story maps are over there and all my themes are set up over there, but I need to migrate over here and start using this a little bit more. So there's also all of these quick links. You can explore different stories that are available across, the internet. And you can find some tips on how to get started, any latest news updates of new features that story maps have, how to plan out a story. Just like any good presentation, you want to have certain elements in there. And this is a good place to start. There's also tutorials and webinars and any frequently asked questions, okay? So I'm going to click back on these stories, and what we're going to do is create a new story. Now there's different templates that you can use, that a sidecar that which actually has where you can set up, either a map or an image on one side and have immersive and scrolling text on the other side. You can do a guided map tour and you can do an explorer map tour. Actually created an explorer map tour for our county office to show all of the programs that we had across the county on all of our different program areas. And that was presented to Dr. Hyde when he did his tour of Texas. So this is a great tool as well. But we're going to start from scratch, so I can show you all of the tabs and how to set that up, okay? So when you first get started, you'll have pretty much a blank template, okay? And you're going to put your title of your story. So I'm going to go with Bid Academy, Business in Development. Okay. I'll call your attention to the top where you can see your design. You can change your cover for it to be minimal, a side-by-side, which is going to look like this, where you put an image here or a video. You can put a GIF. There's a lot of GIFs that you, or GIF, however you say it, that you can find on Canva. So that's a good place to find some that you can actually upload in here if that's something that you're interested in doing, or you can do it full. Okay, so let's do side by side. I like to set up this navigation because when maybe you have this embedded into a website or somewhere else and you don't know that you're supposed to scroll down, you may think that it's just an image, and that's going to show that arrow right there. Okay. You can also change the theme. So the other theme that I use for my regular presentation, I think I use Mesa. That looks like this, Slate, ridgeline. You can browse themes. Those are going to go to yours. And you can also upload your logo. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my logo here. And then it appears up here. So you can set up your own themes. I haven't done that right now, but you can actually customize your theme back at the story maps. And so I think that's a really good idea to set up your colors and make sure that it's PVAMU branded colors and get that all set up, okay? You can also use a logo link that's, if you have a link instead of an actual file, okay? This is to preview after you've done a little bit of work and you want to see what it looks like in the non-editing stage. And then we have our publishing, okay? So when we're ready to really publish, we have our set sharing level. We can either have private, my organization, or everyone public, right? So, you know, private is just when you're setting this up, but you really want to have it published already. And maybe you just want to present it, but you're not really wanting to share it with the public. My organization, same kind of thing. Maybe you just want to share it within your unit or main organization, but you don't really want that information out in the public. So you would keep it like this, but everyone in the organization is able to view it. Or if it's promotional or something else that you want to share, you can definitely put that everyone public. Okay, and so when you're ready to do that, you can publish that story. Right here is where you can add your story to your favorites, another spot. You can do a print preview, and then you can actually print this out as a PDF. The only thing that I would say to be careful with is if you have any type of sidecars or tour guide views like the ones we just saw a few minutes ago, they're not going to print up correctly. It's just going to show the scrolling screen to do that. So you got to be careful with that if you're going to want to do that. Say if you want to use it for a portfolio or something like that, it's not going to print up correctly like that. Something that I like to change up is it used to just be that you could only, it just had the original publication date here, and it would have it right under your name or right under the title, but they changed that. And so you can either put the date of your last update or none. And I like to put none because when you have that date there, if it's just something that you're using for marketing, you don't want your information to seem too dated. But if it's something that's time sensitive, then you definitely want to put that date there, okay? And then if you know how to use Google Analytics and you want to enable analytics and have your tracking IDs, you can also do that for story maps. So that's a cool feature. So then, yeah, so let's get, I think we did story settings. Yeah, you can duplicate a story and add to it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's add, can I close this? Let me close this. So let's add a cover image. So let's just go ahead and add our CED logo. And I think that we've updated that, but I don't have a copy of that, so I'm just going to use the old one. You can move this up. The only problem with the title slide is it's good to use a picture that is not as large or something a little bit smaller or something that's framed correctly to put here. But remember, we can always change the design to full. So let's just go ahead and do that so we can see right. But that can be switched up. Okay, so when you start your story map, you're gonna just every new area, you're gonna be able to hit that plus sign and bring up all of the tools that you can use, okay? So if we wanted to put some text here and describe the Bid Academy, okay? If we have text here, we can highlight this text. We can change the type of heading it is. Okay, so maybe we want a larger one because this is really the start of it. And then we want to do some text. So I'm going to go over here. I have some information about the Bid Academy. I could just copy this, no need to reinvent the wheel. That's branded content. So we can add that here, cut and paste, give it a second. Okay. Maybe we don't want to add this because we already have the Bid Academy. We can back up. We can change the color here. There we go. We can change the color here, scroll down, see what we'd like. Say we want to do branded purple, let's do purple, right? Okay, same thing here. The color wheel, click here. Okay, so we can change that. Say we want to add some images, you can click here. When you add those, you can either throw them in there, drag them in there. You can browse your files. You can also use a link if you have a link that's an image on a web. But you need to make sure you can, you have permission for it to add that image. Some good places to look are Unsplash and some other media websites you can use, okay? So you can add a button, you can add a separator, you can embed a video in there. I like to use this for YouTube videos. So let's add in a video right now so we can look for this. So if I have a YouTube link, which is probably the easiest and best way to do that, I can add that. Let me go here. I have some videos here. So let's get a shareable link. That's clicked on here. Come back. Paste in here. Okay, and then we can add this. And so this is a little bit of an excerpt of the Bid Academy. So let's just take a quick listen.
You might have several capability statements, right? So depending on what type of bid you're going after, you might have several. Say you have different services that you provide, right? And you're going after a contract for lighting. So you would change up your, maybe you have a general one, right? And then you would change it up for maybe a lighting contract or bid that you want to go after. But maybe you also subcontract and you do some kind of plumbing services or something, right? You want to maybe have a second or third capability statement, similar to the first one, similar to the general one, but something that's going to have you have that front end work that you've already put in so that you already have it prepared for a number of different scenarios depending on what type of bid you're going after, okay?
Okay, so we can add that and you can tell how quickly you're able to add that. I know a lot of people have YouTube channels. This is a quick way to put your videos on here and promote yourself in a really clean, nice format. Okay, so